Raider Nation. It's been a while. How y'all been doing? No, ain't nobody in yet. Here we go. How's everybody doing, y'all? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Kaptain Spalding, baby. We looking at a draft and potential moves that we should do. What's going on, Isaiah? Ariel, what's going on, baby? Hold on one second. I done forgot my book. Hold on for you. Cause I got one hell of a draft. If we can get everybody that I'm looking at, we'll be all right, baby. We got a couple different things we can do in the first round. Primarily, where I think we should focus most is defensive tackle with Vita Vea. I believe he would bring the inside presence that we've been looking for in the middle of our defense for a while now. And he's a big body. I mean, he's 6'5", he's 332 pounds. He comes in, he relieves Mac and Irvin of outside pressure coming out. So the only thing Mac and Irvin have to do is get around the outside. What's going on, Karen? Rob Murphy, what's going on, baby? Spokane, Washington. What's going on, Sabrina? Matt Glover. Yes, especially defensive line. I've got a couple guys on here that we should definitely look at in the later rounds. But like I said, my primary pick number one is Vita Vea. So, defensive line's getting questioned for. We've got a couple different options with linebackers. Lorenzo Carter should be available in the second round, while James Harinas from Louisville should be available in the third. They're both roughly 250, 166 in Carter he's from Georgia, which, you know, almost beat Alabama. But the other is from Louisville. He held up pretty good for a defense that he pretty much manned by himself. That's two options at outside linebacker after drafting Vita Vea. Third round pick, I believe we should go with another wide receiver, seeing as how we only have Coop and Nelson that we can really rely on game in and game out. We can take DJ Chark in the third round, or Markel Aitman from Oklahoma State. He's a big guy. He's 6'4", almost 220. I mean, I believe he would complement well with Coop and Jordy Nelson. With Jordy Nelson being as big as he is, I believe he could come in and fulfill a need too. More in the later rounds. Well, I got you 1 through 5, baby. Like I said, third round should go to wide receiver. Fourth round, I believe we could go with NC, Atlanta Tech, or whatever they called NC A&T. He's they got a pretty good offensive tackle out there, and Brandon Barton, he's a pretty good size. He's 6'7", 303. He could go in the fourth. With him, he's very explosive off the line of scrimmage and knows how to beat his man up. I mean, which is very important with the offensive tackle, which we need. Put him on the right side of the line. Everybody else is filled. I mean, our entire line is almost full with all pros, Hall of Famers, and everything in the light. I mean, so I have no question about our offensive line, but we could go ahead and shore up their right tackle position. Our line will be the best that's ever been. Like I said, we could go there with the fourth, or we could go with a defensive end in the fourth, and Chad Thomas out of Miami. He's another big guy that could fill a big need for us, because he's 6'5", and he's 277 pounds. I mean, and he's a freak of nature when it comes down to athletic ability. He is explosive, he is dominant, and he is controlled. When you look at him, he's very fueled individual. He does not stop, not take plays off. He's got a non-stop motor. What's going on, Steve? Like I said, we could go there, offensive tackle, defensive end, or we could go with a cornerback who should be there in J.C. Jackson from Maryland. He's 6'1", he's 193 pounds, and he's very fast. He's got good hands, and he's got the foot ethic and the handwork that needs to be in the NFL. He could shut down mostly any receiver, but he doesn't have the top end speed that most teams look for, which is why he will be available in the 4th round. Do I think Jordy Nelson is better than Crabtree? Yes and no. His hands, I don't believe, are as glue as Crabtree. But his size and the way he plays, I believe it will be more impactful for us to have Jordy Nelson than it did Crabtree, as long as Coop can do what Coop need to do, which is bring the ball in. Because if he doesn't have them drops, we don't need Crabtree, because he takes off all the pressure from Crabtree, because he is the 6'1" route runner, possession receiver that we need accompanying Jordy Nelson, because he's a big frame, a lot of speed, big body down the field. So you team that up with Jared Cook and Amari, and then you got 2 running backs out of the backfield that's going to smack you. I don't see any kind of problem coming from that. What's going on, Tavita? Yeah, not today though, man. Got to rock all black today. Not a good day for me, but it's life, baby. Raider life for me. That's the only way to be. Like I said, or we could wait and go with Jawan Rowland in the 4th round, the outside linebacker. He's from Arkansas State. He stands at 6'2", 244. He's a pretty good, solid guy. He can hit. He can tackle. He's very solid in production. He's led Arkansas State in tackles the last year. In round 5, we could go with a running back and Rashad Perry from San Diego State. He's 5'10", 214. He'll go in the 5th. He's pretty quick. He's agile, and he can hit you. I mean, all things that I look for in a running back. Another round 5 is Mike Love out of USF, defensive end again, and he stands at 6'4", 260, and he's one freakish athlete. I tell you what, he looks almost like JPP, but he's not that fast, but he's a little bit stronger than he is, especially when he come out of college. So I mean, you look at him, you're looking at JPP 2.0. He's more big. I mean, he's a bigger guy. He's a stronger guy. He's got speed. He'll hit you. All things, like I said, that I look for when it comes down to Raider. What I looked at, it said he had low combine grade, and it said he was projected in the 5th or to 6th round. So I mean, we might be looking at different things, but his highlights definitely didn't look like he should be a 5th rounder. I'll tell you that. I'll definitely agree with you there. But if he does, if he's there in the 5th, definitely should take him. Another guy, the guy that I really do like, but he's only got one hand, which might create a problem when he comes down to tackling somebody. But Shaquan Griffin out of UCF, outside linebacker. He only stands at 6'1", which is kind of question mark for me. But the way that he plays, he plays a much bigger game than a 6'1" guy does. And he's also 222, which is also another question mark because he's underweight. But if he can put on the weight, I believe he could be a good, solid, serviceable guy for us. And he's definitely a tackle machine. But like I said, with that only one hand, he can only grab so much. But we take all that into aspect. There's two other guys that I wouldn't mind taking in first either. That's Roquan Smith and Derwin James. All three are position of need. And if we go by that, we should take the best one of the three that are available. To me, the reason that I go with Vita Vea is because he holds so much more importance to the defense, because we need that defensive tackle to create the inside push. That's the only thing we've been missing. If we go and get Navarro Bowman back, our linebackers will be set, because we can flip-flop with Bruce as long as Mario Edwards is healthy and on the field. We can take him and switch him in and out with there and go right along with that. I mean, I see no problem with that. I trust Mario Edwards if he can stay healthy, is the question. We take that. We got Bruce Irvin, manageable and in a position to where he's comfortable rushing the quarterback, but also defending everything else. Because just because he's lining up at linebacker doesn't mean that he has to go back in coverage. Because if we can split him down the middle of anybody, Jelly, Vita Vea, and Mac on the outside, there should be nothing but a hole that he's coming through and filling up. So you take that and we come up with nothing but wins, baby. And that's all we want to do, right? Just win, baby. So that's the way we're gonna rock it out, like that. But there's also one other guy that I wouldn't mind taking, and his name is Joshua Jackson out of Iowa. He is 6'1", 192. He's got the hands of a pro already. He's got the footwork. He's got the mental ability to push up on anybody and come out on top. So, I mean, if the first round works out the way I think it can, and a couple players fall to the second, we'll be able to come out with another draft steal the same way we came out with Carr and Coop. I mean, Carr and Khalil Mack. That's the only thing that really needs to matter, is that we all are on the same page and we all coming together. That's the main thing. Because John Gruden, he's not going to build a team overnight. It's going to take him a year or two to get everybody that he wants to play for us. But that doesn't mean that we should lack or set back in any way. I believe that a Super Bowl is coming to Oakland before we move. That is what I believe. Marshawn Lynch is the key. We give him the ball. We have people to throw the ball to. Our defense step up. That's the only thing that needs to happen, because we all run off each other. Derek Carr and Khalil are going to have to step up this year like they've never stepped up before, because they are on their own this year. They're on their own this time. There is no Krabby Patty that's been to the Super Bowl. There is no one that could be there besides Navarro Bowman. Reggie Nelson's been there, but he was there with Captain Jack. Captain Jack also drafted Reggie Nelson when he was in Jacksonville. So it's going to be a complete turnaround, and it's going to take all of us working together. It's going to take all of them working together to make sure that we go to the Super Bowl like we know we can, because that's the only thing that matters, is getting that W at the end of the day. We take them W's home, and we'll be all right this way. But like I said before, if y'all got any kind of questions or anything, right, I agree with that, but not necessarily, because there's enough good players that'll fall to number 10. One of them fall. It'll either be Derwin James, Vita Vea. It'll be somebody that we could need. Bradley Chubb, we could use. There's a couple players on there that'll fall, and all we got to do is pick the best one. That's the only thing we'll have to do, because there'll be 2 quarterbacks taken out the first 10. That leaves 8 players on the board that you know that you'll have at least one of. Or at least that's my logic and how I look at the draft. Because, like I said, There's a couple other guys that I would take at defensive tackle, but Vita Vea, he's the biggest, he is the strongest, he is the fastest, he is the one that we need to team up with Mac. He is the one that needs to control the middle of the defensive line. He is the one that needs to put the pressure on the quarterback every play, blow that center up off the ball, get Mac around the corner, get Irvin around the corner, and everything else will fall into place. Because it doesn't matter how bad your secondary is if you can get to that quarterback and push him off the point of the ball, it doesn't matter. Because if you can do that, it's game over anyways. And with no defensive tackle, with no inside push, that is not possible. You take that inside push, you got the outside running, you got linebacker that's in the middle running the defense. And it all comes together. It all works. Look at Paul Gunther. He worked with Ray Monaluga. To me, that's not starter material. But he made him work and serviceable for the past, 7 years? I mean, he's done some things with people that had no business starting. I don't believe, like Devin Steele. I mean, yes, he stood for a charitable cause for his daughter and all that, and I support that completely. But at the end of the day, he's not starter material. And that's really one of our problems too, is that we've not been running starter material. But that's not necessarily all Reggie McKenzie nor Captain Jack's fault. It's more of what we could do at the time, what we could have, what we could afford, more than anything. Because all them big contracts led to death. All that death led to a resurrection. When we drafted Mac and Carr, already brought in a couple solid bodies like Donald Penn and all that good stuff. I mean, that lined us up to where we are now. Only thing left to do is to level up and get up and go all the way. Because if we go all the way, there is no stopping. There is no quitting, and there is only Super Bowls in our destiny. There is only championships for Derek Carr. There is only NFC, AFC, NFL defensive player of the year, Khalil Mack. He should have about 6 of them by the time he retires. That's how good that boy is. You take him, your defense shouldn't be stopped at all. I mean, ain't nobody should ever be able to come around there, run, open it up, get open, get free, get anything besides negative yards. Because if you got the right push, Khalil Mack's coming around and he's going to tackle anybody that gets in his way. And it doesn't matter if you're an offensive lineman to a running back, you're all going to the ground. What you got, baby? Look at the dirty squirrel. Look at him. The boy wild by. Look at that head by. The boy wild by. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I've been looking at, what I've been looking for. John Gruden also has been bringing in a lot of guys that remind me of old school Raider players, hard-nosed, determined, and ready to go at any time. Keith Smith, I like the comparison to John Ritchie. I like it. But can he live up to it? John Ritchie, all-time pro. What's Keith Smith? A cowgirl? Nope. Sure ain't Ariel. Sure it hasn't. Cap, put this in your bank. Khalil Mack will eventually hit the mark in which he said he was. He will get 30 sacks in a season if we got interior line push for him to get around that corner. But if he does not have that push, he can't beat everybody. I mean, you can't just stand up and try to damn block him by himself, put 12 people on Khalil, and act like he's gonna be alright or something. I mean, he'll be alright, because guess what? He'll take every one of them off the field. But also with that, you need help. You need somebody that's going to step up and hit somebody while Mac is drawing all that pressure. Also, when Mac is taking all that pressure, that also means that line is blocking hard to the other side, which means 9 times out of 10, that's the way they're going to go, because they done clogged up everything else out there besides him, because he will cut through. But you can't rock him out by himself. What's going on, Andy? But like I said, y'all, if y'all got any kind of questions or want to say anything to me, don't be afraid. I'm right here. You right there. Go ahead and hit me up. Don't be scared. Because I am your captain, baby. I am the wake. Raider Nation is the day. And here we are to celebrate. Anybody got any kind of questions about what I said about the draft? Anybody got any kind of statements to say about Vita Vea or anybody else who I mentioned besides Ariel? Talking about Rashard Penny. Because I do agree with your assessment of that, though, man. That's just what I've read, what I've heard. Yeah, Vanderdoes is looking good. And with that being said, if we get a starting defensive tackle that can start every game, start every play, and play all the way, we have serviceable backups and rotation players that can come in, fulfill everything else we need. Because Jelly, Trayvon Hester, Eddie Vanderdoes, all them players can come in and rotate between everything, and they can all hit. They all quick and they all fast, except for Jelly, who's going to come in and disrupt the run plays up the middle. I like Leon Hall, man. He's probably not the best corner out there, but he's definitely not the worst. He's smart. He's been in the league for a while. He knows how to teach the defense that Paul Gunther's trying to teach us. So I believe that it all worked good. What's going on, Elijah? Hope you're having a good day. I agree, Andy. He might not be the starter. He might just be coming in, play outside during nickel package, something like that. But I think we got him more of like a Charles Woodson type of role, to where we're using his brain more than we are using his body. Does that make sense? And if I'm smoking cigarettes, I apologize if that bothers you. Yeah, Vita Vea definitely is a big boy, Alex. That's one of the main reasons that I really like him. You gotta remember, I'm an offensive defensive line coach down here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, coaching these little kids how to play some football, baby. You know what I'm saying? And waiting on the day for practice to start. Yes. That's exactly what we're building, is competition, and not really start players except for Jordy. That's the only one we signed that is a A1 start from day one. Besides Tahir Whitehead or whatever his first name is. He's a pretty good guy too. He's a good tackle guy. He'll hit you. I mean, we got him. We get Bowman back. That's what I'm waiting to see. Yeah, definitely Andy, the teacher. Which all good defenses normally have. They got that one old guy that's been in the league for years, and he's teaching everybody else how to be that type of guy, to teach them how to sustain their career and teach them how to be that good for that long. I mean, like I said, he might not be the A1, but he was definitely an A back in the day. And I was thinking about trying to find a way to add my flag up here to the back, but I don't know how to do that. So anybody got an idea, you can hit me up and let me know. That's the plan, man. Like I said, I've been waiting to see what we're gonna do with Navarro. he's definitely more of a 3-4 guy, in my opinion, but he definitely showed out last year, and Patrick Willis showed him how to be that type of guy, how to be that starting leading guy. So I definitely want him back to see what he can do for us, and teach the other linebackers how to hit and how to control the team and everything else. I'm not sure, man. It's sometime after the draft. I don't want to lie to you and tell you something that I don't know for sure, Junior. Exactly. That's why I like him. Vita Vea, he doesn't necessarily move like a big guy like Haloti Nada or Fletcher Cox. He's more quick. He's more explosive. He can come through that line. He can crack down and bring that pressure that Mac needs to help free him out and get him through. I mean, that's what I'm saying, and that's what we need is that inside pass rush. All good, Junior. Exactly. He definitely was a heart, because besides Mac, ain't nobody else stepped up to do anything at all. And that really made me mad. And just like the car injury that really upset me, especially from the way I'm looking at it. But offensive line, going to be offensive line. Offensive line going to protect, especially if that's what they're good at. So, I mean, if they expect to get paid, they're going to block. And I expect nothing but greatness out of this year. I know I said that all last year, but I really expect nothing but greatness this year, because what we needed was an offensive-minded coach. John Gruden, definitely offensive mind. Defensive tackle out of Michigan, right? My biggest thing about him, he's not big enough. He's only 283. That rings a question to me. How big can he get? How strong is he? And how fast can he stay? If he's running at 283 compared to running at 320, how fast is he then? Does he have the same type of speed? Or does he slow down a little bit? Because my thing with that is I would rather go ahead and draft the big guy, the big body guy that's weighing 330 now, than wait and see with a project like that. Defensive tackle needs a big guy. If you're not already big, there's a question about you. Can you get to be that size and still be able to play? If you can't, you'll have to go to the outside. And is he good there? Can he play that? Has he ever played that? All questions that need to be asked and answered before we take him. I don't like to take gambles like that. I wouldn't try it. If I'm gonna take a gamble on something, I would rather have it be a position of strength, of where we have multiple bodies that can come in and fill in for him, so he can see how to do what he needs to and learn what he needs to learn before we just throw him in there and be like, here you go, and just let him fly. That's any position. That's not just defensive tackle. That's any position. I don't like taking risk. I don't like taking gambles on things that are not sure. Vita Vea is one thing for sure. Derwin James is one thing for sure. And Roquan Smith are one thing for sure. Those three players, one of those three will be available at number 10. We take one of them, we can fill out the rest of the roster with what we need. We need a slot receiver. Tight end's pretty much covered for. We're looking more for blocking tight end. More blocking tight end than catching tight end. But with Jared Cook, you got more of a vertical threat than you do a blocker. So we take him. We got another catch. Got three main catch guys. Cooper, Jordy Nelson, Jared Cook. You take them three. You add running back Marshawn Lynch with Doug Martin and 2 speedsters, I have no question, I have no doubt about my silver and black. Roll it up and legalize. But yeah, man, like I said, this is the Kaptain, baby. It's been a pleasure. I'll be back every other day around this same time. Exactly. So we don't really need to worry about a blocker at tight end. Like I was saying, that's already pretty much filled up. Jared Cook, keep your game up.